Yes.
So just so everybody's caught up, like catch them up. What does Rilla Voice do? Like we
So
haven't even talked about that yet.
yeah. So let me pull out my phone here. So when if you're a roofing company, home services company, home remodeling company, if you're a company who has salespeople that go out and talk to customers or homeowners in their home, they're going to be going out here and recording their conversations from the Rilla Voice mobile app. And then we're going to be using AI to automatically transcribe, analyze, and give them feedback to help them improve their sales and their conversations, and to help you as a business owner or a sales manager do what we call virtual ride-alongs, which essentially are 100 times more faster, better, cheaper than doing the traditional physical ride-alongs where you can only coach one person at a time. With Rilla, you get to coach your entire team at the same time because you're basically everywhere at once without actually having to be there.
So we've got this app. I click a button, and I can do it in a variety of different ways. Like I could just do it in the Rilla Voice app. I believe you guys have a lot of integrations as well.
That is correct. Yes.
So I can click it there, and this thing listens to me.
Yes.
And so it's listening as if I was there as a sales manager.
That is correct.
And
it's actually a little bit better now, but yes, essentially.
So what does that mean? Like, what does that mean? It's better than a sales manager.
Well, with GPT chat, when it came out, it basically it really most people don't they don't put in context what just happened.
They don't grasp what it is.
Yeah, like what just happened is like people are saying like, there's like a quote that Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, he said that one of his friends told him like, essentially, you just built a general artificial intelligence and I just went about my day. We're now talking seriously, not like science fiction, about like a new species that we created, Homo artificialis or whatever the hell we're gonna call it, but like a new thing that's like smarter than Homo sapiens, which has never existed on planet Earth, right? And so that's like really like it's probably the internet, everything that happened before this pales in comparison to the amount of disruption and the amount of and the risk and the reward that we're facing today with AI. It's really powerful.
Should we be scared of it?
Anybody who's working on it who's not a little bit scared of it is just full of shit. We should be a little bit scared of it. I mean, if we get it wrong, it's basically like we're playing with nuclear weapons at this point. It's like really
we're doing ourselves.
Yeah, and we should get it right. I think at the end we will get it right because the products that will come out will be to enhance the human experience and enhance the human purpose, and that's what's been happening so far. And I think we as human beings want that, so that's what we will pay for. So I think we're going to be fine in the end, but it's just a risk, But anyways, going back to the point, it's like you now have this supercomputer. Now that I scared everybody, so you're welcome.
I think that's important, though. I think people should understand the responsibility and consequence that comes with this thing.
Yes, it's not a coincidence that all the people working on, like the people that really know what's going on, it's like like Elon Musk has been talking about this, and like even Sam Altman. It's not a coincidence that they're like really concerned about getting it right, because we're it's the blessing and the curse of human beings. We're very curious and we place with the laws of the universe, and it could be amazing, or it could be very destructive, right? So we should get this one right. So
yeah, let's just take all the nuclear weapons off of any kind of connectivity to the internet. Like,
I mean, you don't, for the bad things to happen, you don't need nuclear weapons. That's the problem.
That's true. It could be a lot worse.
Yeah. So I mean, it's like nuclear weapons, right? The chances are not high, but if there's even a 1% chance of wiping out humanity, you want to be very, very, very clear about that. So it's the same thing with this. You want to be very cautious about how you do things. And not to say, but it has massive, massive potential to just elevate the human condition so much. So it's really powerful.
I think it has this, I said this to somebody the other day and they go, I hadn't really thought about it that way. But there's this concept of the 99% and the 1%, right? The 1% has all the money, 99% are giving it to them most of the time or trying to figure out how to get some of it. And I think that AI has the potential, as long as the 99% understands how to use it, to shift that financial windfall
1,000%,
to a different percentage perspective dramatic. Like it could actually flip it.
I mean, yeah. What,
If
like
used correctly.
1000%. 1000%. I mean, like what you essentially, I mean, you see a lot of academics are really scared of AI, and rightly so, because they're at the forefront of things that are going to get entirely disrupted, if not replaced, with this new technology. Because it's similar to what happened with the Lutheran kind of Reformation movement. It was powered by the printing press, right? There was no Reformation without the printing press, because
Right.
the whole Reformation was like, I'm going to print the Bible in my own language. I don't need these scribes sponsored by the church that, gets all this money, like the medieval Catholic Church that, takes all this money. What is it that people like used to pay the church to get their sins removed, or whatever the hell that was
Oh,
called?
what were those called? I know what
The
you're talking about.
like
Starts with an A.
indulgences.
It is indulgences.
Yeah.
There you go.
Indulgences.
Yeah.
It's like the
I
church
was
was like,
close. I knew
yeah,
it was
yeah. So
about.
they were like accumulating all these funds from people, and then all of a sudden, Mr. Gutenberg comes out with the printing press. Everybody's able to print, and then kind of like knowledge and information becomes commoditized, right? With the printing press, it became more so with the internet. What happened now, I think it's like colleges, like like these colleges that kind of monopolize intelligence, and then like the consulting companies and the iBanking companies and the law firms and like all these big companies hire out of colleges, like their big recruiting pipeline, and like everybody knows that it's like harder to get into Harvard than do well at Harvard. You know what I mean? Like the value of getting into Harvard and like getting into all these like big schools is that you are there, so people already know that you're really intelligent because you had a good SAT score and so on and so forth. So what's happening now is you're essentially commoditizing intelligence. You're commoditizing intelligence. Everybody has a supercomputer that's smarter than anybody in the planet in their pocket.
Yeah,
With
and I've been
ChatGPT.
using it because
And
I'm a
so,
big dummy. I'm like, I'm dumb, so I want to use this thing to make me smart, right?
so yes. So then it's like a similar thing's going to happen. It's going to be a bigger disruption than the printing press to the Catholic Church. Is going to be a bigger disruption to college, to education, and to many other industries, because essentially what you're doing is you're commoditizing intelligence. Intelligence now is a commodity that you have in your phone. So yes, it'll like no longer the smart people are going to control society.
Well, I hearken it to like the radical change. Like you pointed out a good one, the printing press. That was such a big radical change. The Industrial Revolution, a big radical change. The internet, the smartphone, like each one of those things, the computer before the internet, each one of those things disrupted the way humans act and do.
Yes.
All of them, to me, seem to not have slowed things down. Like that, the idea has always been to make things easier so we don't have to work as hard, right? But that didn't actually happen with any of them. All they did was afford more capacity to do more in the same amount of time.
Right.
Do you think AI is going to be like that?
Yeah, I mean, like yes, 1000%. So, there are jobs that are going to be entirely replaced, like how the car replaced a lot of the chariot riders who would drive chariots.
Yeah, there wasn't a bunch of horseshoe people out there.
Exactly. So this is going to replace some jobs, right? Like some people. I mean, I see companies, not only mine, that are like working on, and this is something that's probably going to get replaced. I think in the next 2 years, it's like the call center with the technology that exists now. You can kind of replace like simple kind of like call center conversations, probably like that's something there. I know a company that's working on it. It's called Avoca AI. They're literally working on replacing the call centers. Like, you talk and it's a machine. It sounds like a human. It's just like the technology is there for the machine to be like literally able to answer you in real time, because speech to text is really accurate. So you talk to it, the machine transcribes it, then it feeds it to ChatGPT. ChatGPT comes up with a response in real time, and then it uses text to speech to answer, and you can use a deep fake to make it sound like any human being that you want, or and with the intonation and everything. It just basically you just replace the call center. So technology's there to do that.
I've seen some of the digital door knocking stuff too.
Yeah.
These guys out knocking doors are like, and you sit there and go, wow, this is replacing all these jobs, right?
Yes. It will replace a lot of jobs, but there are some jobs that are going to become better.
A whole bunch of jobs.
Yes,
creates a whole bunch of jobs for the people that actually know how to use it.
So, like, perfect example. I'll talk about Rilla since I know a lot about it. So Rilla, right? A sales manager with Rilla. The number one answer to the question of how many ride-alongs are you currently doing today, like when we talk about in our sales calls to a sales manager, what's the number one answer that we get to that, Jim?
Per day?
No. Like just like in general, how many ride-alongs are you doing in general? What do you think is the number one answer that we get from a sales manager?
None.
Not what they say. They say it in a way. They say,
or when
not
I
it,
can.
not enough as I should.
Yeah, not enough as I should.
It's like they know they should do it because they don't want to do it because it's so time consuming. I was like, oh my God. And so with Rilla, so for instance, like we had, I always use Chad from StormGuard. He was one of our first customers. I love Chad. Wherever you are now, Chad. Hi, Chad.
I'll make sure Chad gets this.
Yeah, Chad Arnold. He used to be a sales manager for the StormGuard Appalachia franchise. He was a really cool guy, and he used to manage like a team of 5-6 reps. And I asked him, "How do you go your first week of using Rilla?" And Chad said, "Listen, last week it took me, I went on one ride along with 1 rep, and today with Rilla, I was able to ride along with all my 6 reps." And I said, "Holy crap, that's amazing! That's a 6 times improvement." And Chad said, "No, last week it took me 6 hours to watch 2 appointments for this one guy. Today with Rilla, I was able to coach all of my 6 reps, watch 4 of their appointments, 24 appointments total. I was able to see all their analytics, how they're talking, what they're saying, what they're doing right, what they're doing wrong in the home. I was able to do all of that in less than 50 minutes." So we're talking 6 hours to 50 minutes, 1 person to 6. That's a 30 times increase in the productivity of your sales managers. And one of the things that we've seen with Rilla, we have some of our customers, they've literally, there's one of our customers in Washington, a roofing company that you guys know as well. They literally hired a remote sales coach, right? That's not in their area. And the remote sales coach lives, I don't think he even live in the country. They don't live in the United States. They hired a remote sales coach that can coach their reps. And now we're seeing this almost like remote sales trainer become a job.
I thought about that whenever we first talked to you guys. I'm like, holy cow, you're going to be able to coach these guys just like you would like a golf coach, where you record your video, you send it to him. There's apps like that all day.
Yeah.
And he watches your video, gives you your coaching advice back. Like, I don't have to be with you.
Yes. And so then that's a new thing that we've seen being created. I mean, that's what we have with you guys, with the partnership with the top profits. You guys get to coach people remotely wherever they are in the country. World-class coaches always at your disposal. So, and that's a different kind of job, right? It's a different kind of job than the traditional sales manager role. So yeah, while people are maybe hiring less, like people ask us like, is this going to replace the sales manager? And we say, not really. A sales manager using this is going to replace the sales manager, right? And so yeah. So you're going to see those.
You can replace the need to connect motivation,
of course,
to the need. So every single person on this planet is motivated by something. They have incentive to go do whatever it is they do. And the actual value of a real sales manager, somebody that knows what they're doing, is being able to connect with whoever's working for them, whatever it is they want, with proper incentive to do it. That's motivation, which is what ends up getting the results that you're looking for. Now, coaching them on what to say and how to say it, I can see that, like taking that off of my plate, so I can then totally focus on, hey, let's get you to where you want to be. Let's talk about your work ethic. Let's talk about some of your skill set. Like, let's talk about some of that, because we already know what the problem is.
Yeah. Like I think that's an awesome thing that you entered the motivation side of the equation, because it was just read this book by Andy Grove, who's he was the CEO of Intel, and he wrote this book called High Output Management. And he says, like, if you have a player in your team who cannot, who's just not performing well, or like he can't get the job done, there's only 2 reasons for it. 1, he can't do it. 2, they won't do it. And if he can't do it, it's because you need to coach him on how to do it properly, because he doesn't have the proper training. Or if he won't do it, it's because he's not properly motivated. So you have to motivate him. And those are the 2 kind of inputs that you have as a manager of anything, as a coach of anything, is just to motivate and to coach. And so we help a lot with the coaching side. And we think that sales managers become bionic when they're using something like Rilla to coach you. You still can't replace the coaching. Like, the sales manager has to go and coach you and give you that feedback. But AI is still not there where you can have, like, even if you can replace the call center, you still can't replace, like, sales managers identifying the key areas of opportunities and, like, finding that black swan in a conversation and saying, like, oh, you should have done this better. But a tool like Rilla certainly helps the sales managers become bionic and super powerful at their job. So you're going to see those 2 things with AI, where it's going to replace a lot of jobs, it's going to create a lot of jobs. but it's also going to make certain jobs, it's just going to supercharge them. I see it with my own engineers. It hasn't replaced engineers, but our own engineers, they're 5 to 10 times more productive by just having access to chat GPT. It's insane what it's doing to elevate the productivity of human beings right now.
Well, I'm not going to lie. It's supercharging our coaching. We're using it. We're like, okay, so we've got this tool out there now. It does this thing. And early on, when we start first kind of getting into it, the output wasn't like it was accurate.
Yes, yes,
But it had zero
yeah.
personality. There was no personality to it. It didn't sound like us, any of those kinds of things. And as we put more time and more effort into it, we started to find the different tools that were out there. And we use a tool now that actually allows us to incorporate our brand voice into it. So we took my book and input my entire book into it. We took all of our 7,000 documents and content and videos and all that other stuff. We put that into it. So now whenever we chat with it, it sounds like us coming back.
Yeah.
Wildest thing. I'm like, okay, this is going to be good because it allows us to put out more content that's valuable and free to the industry to raise the bar. And I'm all about raising the bar. How high can we go?
Right. Yeah.